Welcome everyone to my TheRelaxedMovement guide. Today, I'll be covering Battlezones, the newest feature added to Eternal Return. So without further ado, let's get into the guide. Let's start with, first of all, what are Battlezones? Battlezones are a new type of special objective, where a zone will be designated as a battle zone, and players can go into the zone in order to fight out at a very low risk, and anyone that dies inside a battle zone will respawn, and the ultimate winner of each battle zone will get to claim a reward. Talking about claiming rewards, why do we want to join these battle zones? There's a couple of reasons for these, but first of all, you can get a lot of levels just through fighting other players, so going to battle zones in order to get leveled up on everyone else thanks to fighting could be a good approach. Next up, you could also earn really strong rewards by joining these battle zones. Battle zones featured an arrangement of accessories that you can equip that are unique to battle zones, each one with its unique active, which could heavily impact your gameplay depending on the character you're playing. Alternatively, you can use battle zones just to get your regular transition items, so it's not like you're missing out on anything else. Battle zones are also a good way for people to limit tests and learn new matchups. Now that we know why we want to be in these zones and what they are, let's talk about when they happen and a few things to look out for. So at the beginning of night 1 or the beginning of night 2, a couple of the yellow zones will be designated as battle zones. You know this because they will have a special icon that will determine the type of battle zone they are. There's 3 types of different battle zones. There is a movement speed battle zone that grants you movement speed and cooldown reduction for being in it. There is an attack battle zone that will grant you extra attack and omni siphon inside of it. And there's a defense one that will give you a barrier if you have been out of combat for a couple seconds. Whatever battle zone you might want to try, they're all good in their own way. So just feel free to just play the one that fits your playstyle the best. Now that we identify when the Battlezone spawn, we need to get to these battle zones, and whenever the day to light cycles, the battle zone will begin. Once the battle zone begins, nobody can enter the battle zone anymore, nor can escape it. If you do attempt to get into the battle zone, you will be punished and getting instantly eliminated, so watch out for that. Additionally, if you're playing team modes and only one person of the team makes it in, the others cannot get in after. So make sure everyone on your team is inside the battle zone at the beginning of it. But let's talk about inside this battle zone and how they play out. A couple of things you can instantly realize whenever you're in one of these zones is that there will be 2 drones that will spawn in different sides of the current area you're in. You are always going to have vision of these drones, and these drones have an HP bar. The moment you deplete that HP bar, the drones will become untargetable and they will start dropping a few stabilizers around the ground. You can pick up these stabilizers in order to lower your timer inside of this zone. As you can see, you have a big 8 as well as a red circle around this 8 that starts depleting. This is your timer inside the battle zone, essentially similar to the timer outside of this, where if it reaches 0, you die. So you want to make sure you're playing around these drones, depleting their HP bar, getting these stabilizers in order to reset your timer and staying alive. Once there's only 2 players left, only 2 teams left, one of the 2 drones in this zone will blow up, forcing the 2 teams or the 2 players to get close to each other for a final 1v1. Whenever the drone explodes, do make sure they do drop a lot of extra stabilizers in order for you to full reset if you just fought, so make sure you're picking it up. Finally, after the final 1v1, it's time to claim your reward. If you manage to successfully clear the battle zone, there's 2 ways for you to claim your reward. You can either go and walk up to the console in whatever zone you're in, which will be pointed at you by an arrow, or you can click into the top right on the Battlezone UI and hit claim reward. In here, you're going to be able to see the points that you earn. These are dependent on the amount of participants in the zone. Technically speaking, if the battle zone doesn't have anyone but 1 player, you will immediately win the zone, but you won't have as many of these points to purchase stuff with. On the top middle, where you're going to see the special featured accessories unique to battle zones, or in the bottom and at the bottom we have the more traditional position items. No matter how many points you have, you can only pick 1 reward, so choose wisely. Additionally, you do have a time limit to claim your reward. Make sure you're claiming it within a good time frame. If you do run out of time, your reward will be lost forever, as well as your revive kit. Now let's talk a little bit about that. What is your revive kit? So you can go in battle zones, you can revive as long as you have not won a battle zone before. The moment you win a battle zone, your revive kit is gone, meaning that if you go to another battle zone after that, you will no longer respawn like everybody else. On the contrary, if you lost a battle zone, you're free to go into another one to try again later on, and you will respawn without problem. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't go into another battle zone later on, but if you do die in them, you will permanently die. So it is at your own risk. Last but not least, I'm going to give a few remarks about these battle zones, about certain things that I want to cover that I didn't get to before. What are the things? Whenever you complete a battle zone, you're not able to TP away from it. If you're thinking about clearing up a battle zone, and then TPing to an objective. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to do this. Another thing about Battlezones, Battlezone kills are not counted heavily towards LP and play and rank. So even if you're getting tons and tons of Battlezone kills, this will not reflect in your LP earning in a rank game. Another tip, whenever you clear a Battlezone, you're allowed to stay in there for the whole duration of the daylight cycle. So feel free to farm out on any animals that are in that zone. Depending on the zone, you can earn a lot of extra experience just by farming all the animals out in a zone that nobody else can contest, so this can be very powerful. Another tip, one of the items currently in the battle zones is a team mode exclusive item, this being Clouded Ring. So if you're playing team modes and you think this item is good, you can claim this reward, whereas in solos you're not able to. For the last tip, I would like to add that whenever you're respawning, you are able to see how many players are in each area, so be careful not to respawn on top of someone else. Well, that was everything from me in this guide. If you learned anything, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.